COVID cases are declining. We just told you the daily number of cases that have been reported, and that too, it's gone down. Slowly things are opening up, and there's a growing chorus now to also reopen schools. Parents, children have been asking if everything else can open up across the country, then why not schools, which are so important to a child's upbringing? Sources say that it's because of this that the government is also working on a model for staggered opening of schools following all COVID protocol. According to sources, the Health Ministry has already asked its expert panel to look into the option of reopening schools. Health Ministry is also issuing an advisory to states to consider opening of schools and higher education institutions. Delhi schools will, however, remain shut till further notice. Chennai, meanwhile, has decided to reopen schools and colleges from February 1st. Chandigarh is also planning to reopen schools for class 10 onwards and colleges from February 1st. Mumbai has already opened schools from January 24th. In Jaipur, schools and colleges are operating with 50% attendance. Kerala at this point has made it clear they have no plans of reopening schools because cases are still on the rise. Amit Bharadwaj is joining us live with more details on this. Amit, I want to focus on what's happening in the national capital. You know, many cities, many states across the country have already gone ahead with very strict norms reopening schools. What about Delhi? Considering that they had very strict curbs in place, which has been relaxed just yesterday, can we expect some announcement maybe in a day or two about schools?
Well, Akshita, the crucial decisions about reopening of schools or reducing or intensifying curbs in the national capital is taken by the Delhi Disaster Management Authority. Yesterday, the DDMA held a very crucial meeting in which several restrictions were eased off in the national capital, including, withdrawal of the weekend curfew and the odd-even policy in the marketplaces. But as far as the reopening of schools and educational institutes are concerned, this matter was also taken up in the DDMA meeting. But it was decided that as of now, the schools and educational institutes will remain shut. However, when the DDMA will, regather for the next meeting, maybe in the next week, there could be a decision on the reopening of the schools. What we are learning from our sources in the Delhi government is that there could be a staggered opening of the schools, and from level 9 to 12 would be the first one to go for the physical learning as Delhi opens up after the massive Omicron wave that we witnessed in the last week of December up till, third week of January. The next meeting, this matter will be taken up, and in all likelihood, the Delhi government will at least push for reopening of physical learning process for class 9 to 12. Over to you.
Okay, all right, Amit, thank you for joining us with all of those details. We'll be tracking what really is the decision that's taken by the administration in Delhi and really across the country. Many cities, as I mentioned, they have resumed classes, they have resumed physical classes as well, but it's still not happening across the country, and that is the concern. Most of the parents who we've spoken to have said exactly this, that why is there such a hurry to immediately shut schools the moment cases go up? They've cited how across the world, countries are continuing to ensure that children's education is not affected, that schools continue to function, and their first resort, as soon as cases go up, is in shutting down educational institutions.
A growing chorus: open schools now, and open schools with precaution. Many children, parents and experts are calling for bringing back normalcy in the lives of children, albeit with protocols.
1,500 parents have written to the Delhi government and also to the Delhi governor, and in this letter they say that abundance of caution has led to abundance of harm for children given the closures. India has had the longest closures as far as schools are concerned, and Delhi too has been very strict about it. In fact, these parents say that many countries have seen infections more than India, but they've always followed this principle of opening schools right in the beginning and closing them last, and that India also should do the same.
Experts agree and offer solutions on how to go about this. They say the opening of schools does not increase the risk of spread of disease.
Schools should focus upon improving ventilation in school, also on ensuring that teachers follow COVID-appropriate behavior more diligently. It's less important for children to follow COVID-appropriate behavior, but more important for teachers. Governments at all levels, including all state governments, should use the experience which was generated between July to November last year.
Children must be encouraged to have their meals in areas that are well ventilated. The bathrooms must have an exhaust fan. When a person spends even a minute inside a closed space, the air that is breathed out contains aerosols that could contain the virus. Almost all the teachers are vaccinated now, and if anyone is unvaccinated, they must be encouraged to do so.
Globally, the best practice is what has been spelled out in a report by the Boston Global Consultancy. It gives examples of countries that have adopted out-of-the-box measures. Hong Kong arranged desks in single rows, face-to-back setting. Nigeria has separate entry and dispersal gates. Denmark uses outdoor museums for distancing. Germany conducts tests twice a week. Norway has classrooms divided in cohorts and doesn't allow mixing. US is giving booster shots to teachers. UK is providing in-school vaccination for children. But experts say much more needs to be done to help children.
So as children go through this transition, these have to be our two primary areas of focus. Get them on the sports field, get them to enjoy, be happy, and let them mingle with their peers, obviously in a COVID appropriate manner, but get that peer engagement and relationship started, because social communication skills are so important in the developmental years of children.
Given that the WHO too says the infection per se will not vanish and the disease is here to stay, calibrated moves need to be made to create a safe and equitable environment for children to continue learning and having fun. In New Delhi, with Seha Murdani, Bureau Report for India Today.